Crime Clock. It's a brilliant variation on the Hidden Folks theme. The Crime Clock review. Variation of the Hidden Folks theme that manages to reflesh in the formula without renouncing the founding elements of the genre. When Adrian DeLong launched the Hidden Folks on the market in 2017, the so-called hidden object genre, titles in which the objective is to search the elements camouflage in the scenario had extinct for some time. In reality, it extends before the video games, given that many classic puzzle publications, take the Puzzle Week, even had dedicated competitions spread out over several issues which challenge readers to identify some objects hidden inside full-page images, sometimes also dubbed full images of details. The fundamental innovations introduced by the genre were on the hand stylistic, the adaptation of the extremely pericular and captivating visual style, which recalled precisely that of classic genre illustrations, and one on the other had target with the typical mechanics of the genre revised just enough to feel free from the casual band. So where the player goal was always to find well-camouflaged objects in the scenarios, the game space has been expanded dramatically, so much so that it could not be concreted in the single screen. It was also possible to zoom in and out of the images to reveal little visible details and enjoy the excellent work of construction of the scenes adopted by author, which were very alive. Hidden Folks has the set standard with strong sales and very positive reactions from the players. As often happens, many have taken up the formula in the slavish way, simply trying to follow in the wake of the young success, while the others have tried to add more profound elements of diversification to make the experience of searching for objects somehow more personal and interesting, as for examples done by Labyrinth City Pierre the Maze Detective, as we will see in the review Crime O'Clock by the Italians Bad Seed. The time stream is trended by some artificial intelligence, particularly aggressive with the initially not very clear purposes, which are causing numerous accidents to try to alter the history of humanity. Guided by another artificial intelligence with whom we'll be talking throughout the game, we'll have to stop them by solving the cases as they arise. Each case cannot be solved in a single moment of time, but must be reconstructed by moving between the past and the future to reveal the dynamic of what happened and try to put a patch on it, so to speak. Thus, for example, will we have to prevent a man from writing a furious letter to her wife, causing her to commit suicide, reconstructing the salient events of the day for both of them, and interviewing when possible to avoid the triggering cause of the marriage prison. It is precisely around the concept of investigation that the novelties of Crime O'Clock resolve with respect of hidden folks and clone. The gameplay is always composed on the search for hidden objects with large hand-drawn scenarios, but the player who is somehow called upon to conduct real investigators with the search for the hidden details. It is always follows a coherent narrative thread underlined by the interface itself, which highlights from time to time what is discovered. To increase the involvement, there are some simple minigames that will be called upon to solve from time to time, and which simulate some analysis functions of allied artificial intelligence. Thus, for example, to carry out the chemical analysis, we will have to rearrange the elements inside the vials. By moving them into the right order to obtain someone's identity, we will have to reconstruct their face by aligning their details, or a trace to signal we will have to follow by the clicking on the connection nodes as quickly as possible. Reading the game credits, we discovered that Simone Tagliafieri, the one who wrote his review, has been added to the special things. He would like to point out that he is not affiliated in any way with Bad Seed Games and did not collaborate in any way with the creation of the game. The inclusion to probably link the fact that he was followed the game some attention, dedicating space on the powers, several locations, including the making the last videos. However, it's still right to warn all the viewers for this detail in the matter of the conspiracy. And yeah, So that was a bit about our Italian resource, but doesn't matter. As we said, at fulcrum of the experience remains in the search of the object in the 5 grid scenarios, each of which has a different setting starting from present-day mind. We won't tell you that the other are, but let's say that 4 of us will act particularly immediately, while the 5th will only become accessible after the middle of the adventure, with the variety of this guaranteed by unlocking of some skills, such as that of seeing inside some containers, of what being able to view the inside of some buildings, which gradually and intelligently expand interactions, always giving the players the perception of having something new to do, to try, as well as to face more complex problems. Also consider that the scenarios change according to the moment in which they are observed, according to its so-called time tick set by the AI. With the chart to present all following their day, making the scenes very lively and dynamic despite the static nature of individual ticks. Crime O'Clock is a relaxing experience. The game engages you with the investigation and its minigames, but avoids transmitting performance anxiety in the every way, giving you advice on where to look and, if it's necessary, help you with an optional system of progressive unveiling of the solution, which avoids getting bogged down. Even the minigames, although they become more difficult in the advanced stages of the adventure, never try to hold back the player, but appear to him as tools for diversifying investigations, where everything always remains very guided and in some way intuitive. From this point of view, the users used to experience appears well kept and clarified. The development studio desire to make the game truly for everyone, never to oppress the player who is always given a way to get away with it and move it forward. Once the scenarios have been unlocked, however, an extra mode is activated which allows you to replay them in a more traditional way without any kind of help, that is, in which you have to look for characters hidden among the various time ticks, net of related investigation or other, so as to considerably lengthen the life of the game and to be able to look more carefully at the various drawings, which are found to be full of goodies and quotations, such as, for example, the presence of Rick to Morty emulations around Milan. Ultimately, Crime O'Clock appears to be well kept title that fully succeeds in what it sets out to do, which is no small thing these days. Well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Bye.